Just so fed up with myself and my preciousness. I did a little piece back there at my dining room table because my husband was in the kitchen last night, and it's not big enough for two people, without killing each other with big kitchen knives out of frustration. And I wanted to show that I had actually made a cake, that I had not just chopped up apples. So I did a little bit that, hello, we have a cake. So I went and I sat in the dining room table and did the little bit. And tragically, the lighting is really good in the dining room. And I kind of fell in love with the way I looked in the dining room. But alas, there is no good lighting in my crap kitchen. There isn't. And my show is not about well-lighted dining rooms. So here we are. Anyway, butter. Many things can be said about butter. Not enough can be said about butter. Butter is a cornerstone of all good cooking and all good baking. And I am overfond, perhaps, of making pronouncements, which I usually contradict. But one thing which I feel very strongly about is I do not cook with unsalted butter. I hate unsalted butter. I really hate it. I don't get it. Unsalted butter doesn't taste like butter to me. And I think one of the reasons my baked goods get a bit of attention amongst my friends, especially my infamous pound cake, is because I use salted, not unsalted butter, even in recipes that call for unsalted butter, because I have no use for it. And so I went to Thanksgiving at my older brother's house in Atlanta, and he's a little bit fancier than I am. He's also a very good cook. And they put out a lovely spread before the meal, and had all sorts of delicious looking cheeses and crackers. And I put a big slab of what looked like an interesting triple creme on a cracker and bit into it. And I am like, what is this terrible cheese? But it wasn't cheese. It was unsalted butter. And so everybody had a big laugh at the rude put the unsalted butter in her mouth. Only they didn't say unsalted. But yeah, that's my relationship with unsalted butter. I just hate it. I don't think it helps a lot. So I use salted. And what do I want to say about that? So yesterday we talked a bit in my precious little video at the dining room table about how salt, you need with things that are sweet, you need a little bit of salt because it gives it its bite. I feel the same way about butter. You need a little bit of salt to enjoy the fattiness of it. And, it was always a mystery to me why I disliked fudge so passionately. I hate fudge. But I love brownies. And, which reminds me, don't even get me started. I love the Great British Bake Off more than anything almost as far as cooking shows go. And I don't watch a lot of cooking shows, but I really love the Great British Bake Off. But this season on episode 2, one of the challenges was brownies. And I just have to say, English people do not know how to make brownies. I rage tweeted at the show. It was very upsetting. But, good old American brownies I like very much. And I figured out the difference there are more differences between brownies and fudge than this, but fudge is too sweet and it doesn't have enough salt. Brownies have salt, again, giving it a bite. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that cooking is an art. It is. And baking is chemistry. That's true. There is room for experimenting in baking, though. Although I don't suggest it when you're making somebody a cake for a special occasion and you haven't practiced yet, or if you have people coming over, that's not a time to experiment with baking. But happy little accidents, like using salted butter instead of regular butter. And what other happy accidents? Oh, my pound cake is a happy accident in and of itself, because I'll do a pound cake segment another day. But yeah, it's a happy accident because I used a little more sugar than flour, and which developed a really nice crust on the pound cake. So there are happy accidents, and you might find a happy accident if you used butter with salt in it instead of the demanding unsalted butter that you will find in every cookbook. So what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to make cookies today because people like my ginger cookies, or at least they like the look of them. So I'm going to deliver a few out and see how it goes. I might do a segment about that, but I'm going to do now what is called mise en place. The French, the poor French, they try so hard to make the world an elegant place, and the rest of us are so disappointing. Mise en place is French for get your shit together before you cook. Get organized, get everything in its little place. And that is good advice, even if it is French. I can't help it. I love France. I love Paris. But, you know, I'm not going to say they're snooty, but they do have superiority complexes. Oh my God, I'm going to get in so much trouble for saying that. They have superiority complexes when it comes to the kitchen. They do. They really do. Okay, so now that I've ruined my life by saying that, mise en place is good advice. It's really good advice because, you know, if you're disorganized and you have everything all over the place, it's a drag, and you might quit baking because baking becomes a drag. So do that. Measure out what you need beforehand, and that makes the getting together of it very good. So the word of the day is a big no on unsalted butter. No. In spite of how the French try and make me eat it, and they try and think if I put it on a piece of bread with a piece of cheese, it's going to be better. No. No, rien de rien. No, je regrette ne rien. Yeah, I am no Edith Piaf. I said Edith Piaf. I'm no Edith Piaf either.